On this installment of Podcast in a Car, we are going to take a short drive to Indianapolis. Pray for me.
This is Podcast in a Car, a weekly travel tour through some great towns in Indiana, both big and small. Your host for Podcast in a Car is Jacob Pyle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, one and all, to Podcast in a Car, the only show where, the only podcast that takes place inside my car, of all places. My name is Jacob Pyle. I am your host for the show, and I hope you guys are in for a very special treat today, like I said, because we are going on a little adventure, you and I. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Take the next right onto River Road.
I don't know if you'll hear this on the camera or not, but that voice you just heard is my Google Maps. I always rely on Google Maps for such things because, you know...
In a quarter mile at the traffic circle, take the second exit and stay on River Road.
I rely on Google Maps for a lot of things because if I didn't have Google Maps, I would be lost. Trust me, I wouldn't know how to get home. I wouldn't know how to get back to where I was originally intended to go. So today, I just got back from a church service, as a matter of fact, and I had some extra time and stuff before I have to
exit the traffic circle onto River Road. Continue on River Road for 1 mile.
Tonight at 10 o'clock, and I thought, just for fun, I thought we would take a quick drive to Indianapolis. I've often said in episodes past that Indianapolis is one of the busiest cities, and I think it's one of the most crime-rated cities in all of Indiana, period. Especially, I'll be honest with you, I have only driven to Indianapolis by myself one time. And how that happened was, some friends of mine wanted to go see their
in a quarter mile at the traffic circle, take the first exit onto East Main Street.
So I drove them literally all the way from my house in Kokomo, where I was living at the time, to this house in Indianapolis. And so this is only my second. Like I said, although I've driven to Carmel, I've driven through Noblesville, I've driven through every place I could think of in between, but I have never, ever, ever...
Exit the traffic circle onto East Main Street.
I have never really, actually driven...
Continue on East Main Street for 1 mile.
I haven't really driven through Indianapolis much, as soon as I figure, well, I don't have to be at work for a couple of hours, so since I have some spare time, I thought I'd use this time wisely and try going for a drive through Indianapolis. And I'm sure probably most of you are wondering, what are you going to be doing in Indianapolis? will tell you, I am actually going to give me a snack.
In a quarter mile at the traffic circle, take the second exit and stay on East Main Street.
There is a Baskin Robbins in Carmel, but I've only been in there once, and they don't have much indoor seating in there. And from what I understand, this particular one that I'm driving to actually does have seating in there. So
Exit the traffic circle onto East Main Street. Continue on East Main Street for 1 mile.
One second. Sorry, I'm so busy driving. It's like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. No, I'm kidding. No, who all has had Baskin Robbins before? Just show of hands. I've eaten in Baskin Robbins before. The ice cream's pretty good. I especially love their cookie dough ice cream. It's their best. I have yet to try every ice cream they have on their menu. So hopefully within time we will make that happen. You know, I don't know about you, but I'm a fanatic when it comes to ice cream.
In a quarter mile at the traffic circle, continue straight to stay on East Main Street. I'm comfortable driving through roundabouts now, but when I first got behind the wheel, I was one of those guys that was like, nope, no. I am not driving through roundabouts. I'm sorry to tell you, folks. You know, and that's just the plain hard truth, because you can't really. You have to, like, the thing about roundabouts is you have to be very careful, because, you know, I mean, I've driven through roundabouts multiple times, and I pretty much know how to get around roundabouts real easily, but I know a lot of people have their own, I guess, rules as far as how they want to handle roundabouts. And so it's kind of come and go as far as that's concerned. You don't want to. I always tell people this. You don't want to. You know, like technically the rule is pretty much, as far as roundabouts are concerned, as long you have to yield pretty much to all traffic that's coming on your left-hand side. As long as you're clear on your left-hand side, you're good to go. And that's for all directions. You know, I've had times where I've driven through roundabouts and I had cars actually cut in front of me, you know, right as I was about to enter their particular traffic. In a quarter mile at the traffic circle, take the third exit onto the Keystone Parkway ramp.
Here's another. We're about to enter the Keystone Parkway ramp in Indianapolis, and for those of you who have never ever driven through the Keystone Park ramp, it's busy, to say the least. I can probably spare you the details about how that kind of goes, you know, into play, but really, you just have to be careful. That's my main important law, is you have to kind of know what the heck you're doing to try to be able to hopefully
exit the traffic circle onto the ramp.
You know, so I
Well, that kind of sums up the question, without a doubt. Oh, shoot. Did I just go the wrong way?
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Beachmont Drive.
I tell you, I've got a lot to learn about driving through Indianapolis, I'm telling you.
Take the next right onto Beachmont Drive, then turn right onto a Wynn Road.
Isn't this fun?
Take the next right onto a Wynn Road. In 800 feet, turn right onto Bexhill Drive. Take the next right onto Bexhill Drive, then turn left onto East Main Street.
I feel like singing a song today, I don't know why.
Turn left onto East Main Street.
Sometimes I hate turning left on these busy roads, but sometimes, as they say in life, you gotta do what you gotta do. Good, alright. That close one.
In 400 feet, at the traffic circle, take the first exit onto the Keystone Parkway ramp. In 1,000 feet, merge onto Keystone Parkway.
Alright, so now we are on the Keystone Parkway ramp. Alright. especially on Keystone Parkway, attention enough to the signs, then you can easily end up in some place that you never intended to go. For example, the reason why I had to switch lanes was because the had I stayed in that particular lane, I would have ended up on 465, which is what I did not want. But that's just. But yeah, sometimes you just gotta be careful. That's the only piece of advice I could probably give you. Okay. Oh, now this is the butte. This is a butte. This is the I don't know where I'm at right now. This is the skyscrapers here. Indianapolis Keystone where it says Keystone Crossing. Fashion Mall. There's Nordstrom. Now I've often wondered in life how easy it is to get lost in Indianapolis, and I'll be honest with you, so far I am doing a very good job. I'm doing a very good job keeping up with making sure that I stay within my boundaries. You always want to make sure that the trick to the game is you don't want to get caught. Sometimes you just don't want to get caught in traffic. Like right now, I'm shocked. It's 8:30 at night right now, and there's like a whole bunch of traffic on this road. Again, like I always tell people, Keystone Parkway is the busiest, one of the busiest roads in all of Indianapolis, if you think about it. You know, so. We're not even close to where we're going yet, so. Okay. This is fun. I love it every time I get to drive through Indianapolis because, in fact, if I could drive to Indianapolis. Like, I could see myself probably driving through Indianapolis, more often because Indianapolis is one of those hopping little towns. I never really, you would never ever think to someplace like that to where you can easily get lost in places like this. So that's why I always tell people you just gotta be careful in life. You just gotta be careful. I will admit to you, I have made some. I'm one of those guys that, especially if I'm not familiar with where I'm driving around, I will, if I miss a turn or if I don't make the turn close enough, I'm one of those guys that's two things here soon, because I gotta turn right on East 62nd Street according to Zero Ups. There's actually 3 never been to this part of Indianapolis before, so this is totally new. I have, like, I'm sure a lot of you have probably driven through Indianapolis, just to get out, go to work, or in my case, just to sometimes have fun, I will admit to you, I've done a lot of crazy things in my past, but I'm proud of what I have achieved in my life. I've done a lot of things over the years that I am proud. I'm not.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto East 62nd Street, Broad Ripple Avenue.
And I've done some things in my life that I am proud of, like representing Tri-Central, representing my school in the spelling bee one time. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Take the next right onto East 62nd Street, Broad Ripple Avenue, then turn left.
I'm in Broad Ripple Avenue. Oh, man. I wish you could see where I'm at right now, because I have, I kid you not, I have, like, literally, the streets of Indianapolis are so beautiful, especially at this time of night. Makes for an interesting time.
Turn left, then turn left.
Okay, let's see right now.
Take the next left onto Hillside Avenue, then turn left onto East Alley 6175 North.
Podcast today. You want to go with me inside Baskin Robbins?
Your destination is on the right.
Oh, I'm sure you would love that. Yeah, let me park my car real quick, and then I will take you guys inside with me. We're gonna head inside Baskin Robbins and get some ice cream. If you guys need a job, apply to this particular Baskin Robbins. It says help wanted. Oh wow, look at this. Yeah, this is what I got. It's a caramel sundae with whipped cream. That looks really good. I was almost tempted to put a cherry on top, but it'll do. So that's going to do it for this edition of Podcast in a Car. I thank you for joining us. And hopefully someday I hope to see you out on the road. I'm Jacob Pyle. Thank you for watching, and goodbye until next time.
If you live in Tipton, Howard, or Hamilton counties and you'd like to be a guest on Podcast in a Car, send Jacob an email at jtpyle1@aol.com. That's JTPYLE1@AOL.com. This is Colin Fiol speaking. Podcast in a Car is a Pyle Media Ventures presentation which is solely responsible for its content.